So let's learn more about the tools that we can use in our 3ds Max interface. We have the gizmo tools, which is here. We have the modify tools, which is here, and we have some other tools which we can use in our modeling work. We also have some tools here which we will also use. So let's start. Now under edit, the move, rotate and scale tool is what we have here. Move, rotate and scale tool. Those are the gizmos we use in our modeling work, in our rendering work. Then there are some tools here also, like the mirror, which is this one, array. We have align, which is this one. If you click down, there's something underneath it. We also have snapshot, that takes snapshots of your build, of your model. The other group, maybe we want to create groups. When we start the scene composition, you understand that. Then views, when you also want to start the rendering settings, you know how you can use some of these tools. Then create is what you want to use now. Modify, you want to modify your model. Animation, if you are going into animation, these are some of the things you use. Then rendering, when we are going to render, we'll come to this toolbar. Then customize, here is you can customize your users interface. That means how you want this Max scene to look like. So you can customize it to suit what you want, but default preference is okay by me. Then you can also show what you want to show, the tools you want to show, at the panels you want to. For example, this my command panel. If I uncheck it, you can see it's no more there. Sometimes you might be working and you mistakenly unchecked it. So how to bring it back is go to customize, you say show UI, that's users interface. Then you click on show command panel, it comes back to the scene. So if you mistakenly off any of these things, just come to the users interface and check it. Then unit setup, I work with millimeters because it works with most of the models that we merge into the scene, that most of we import into the scene. So always put this as millimeters. You click on OK, make sure that it's millimeters that is showing here, then you click OK. So those are some of the tools that you should know when you are when you are working the 3ds Max interface. Now I want to create some models. We come back to create, click on create, click on standard primitive and click on box. Let's work with our top view, W, create standard primitive box. You can see, just click and drag it up, or you drag it down depending on what you want to do. You can see it's showing on the viewports. This is the top view. Now let's go to our perspective and zoom in. This is our box. You can see it on the left view, it shows. On the front view, it shows. I clicked on FZ to bring it closer. This is our perspective. Now to toggle around or orbit around your perspective, down Alt like this. If you have not yet created your camera shot, you can do that by pressing P, then click down on your ball on the mouse and press down Alt on your keyboard. Then you can move it to whatever scene you want it to go. So for example, if I want to create a camera shot like this, maybe I've seen a shot that I like, what I'll do, I'll press Ctrl C. So it has automatically created a shot based on my perspective view. You can try that again and see what we just did. From your perspective, you can create your camera. Let's do that again. Now, this is my top view, left view, front view, and perspective. Now I want to create a camera shot using my perspective. I'll come to the center of my mouse where we have that ball. I press it down. I press Alt on the keyboard. Then I can move my model to what I want. If I've now gotten I like a shot based on my perspective rotation, I'll say Control C, and I automatically create that camera shot for that view. I hope that is understood. So we have automatically created a camera based on our perspective rotation. Now another thing is that most times when we import our Revit model, we might not have enough plane. What I mean by we not have enough area to cover, so it's always good to create a plane. Still under standard primitive, we have plane. Zoom so I can take a large space and click and drag. Click and drag. Let's come again. Create standard primitive plane, click and drag to your desired extent. So let's say I've gotten what I want. That's the environment, the surface area. I've gotten what I want. I can now give it a color under I can give it a color this is our plane 001. You can see, let's name it site for easy emphasis. Site. I can give it a color. Just click on this box and click on green. Let's do the same thing for the box. I can click on the box. I can call it box 1. Then I'll give it a color. Let's say blue, and I press OK. So you see, I've differentiated the two of them. Let's create another thing. Let's create a teapot in our top view. Go to your top view W and create a teapot. Still under standard primitive. This is our teapot. Let's move it. Now I told you about gizmos. This gizmo, you can change the orientation. You can move the orientation in the y-axis. You can move it in the x-axis. Now the z-axis is not showing because we are in the top view. But if I come to this place, you can see the z-axis is showing. That means I can move it upwards also. I can move it on the y-axis, and I can also move it in the x-axis. So try practicing that because you need it in your modeling works. So for example, if I want to move this thing up, you notice that this our line turns yellow. If I want to move it the y-axis, this our line turns yellow. So how you know whether you are moving it in the right direction is when you see that the line at which you want to move it is yellow. That means you are on the right line. For example, if I want to move it to Z and I'm clicking on the Y, you can see it's not moving that way. Until this is highlighted in yellow, I know that I am moving upwards. So maybe when you are modeling and you need to move something upwards on the y-axis or in the x-axis or in the z-axis, you make sure that the line at which you are moving it is highlighted. I hope you understand that. So that is how to work with your move tool. The same thing with rotate. If I want to rotate this teapot in my what axis is showing now? Let's go zoom closer. It's my x. You can see x is highlighted. So if I want to rotate in my y-axis, I know that is, you can see it's turning the other way around. So most times you are rotate in your x-axis. Let's Ctrl Z. You rotate in your x-axis like this, so that the object is not distorted. So let us give it a good orientation and bring it close to our box. Let's go to our FZ and zoom close. Now you see that our teapot is not sitting on our plane. It's not sitting on our plane. Now you might find it a bit difficult to let it sit properly. For example, if you are bringing in cars, trees, or human beings, and you want it to sit directly on this thing, you have to align. You have to align it with what you want it to align with. So we'll do an example. First of all, let's give this our teapot a color. Let's click on it and give it color red. Now you can create more copies of what you are doing. Either you create an instance. Instance means that whatever you do to teapot A or object A, it will affect object B. So let's click on instance and click OK. Now let's create another one, and let's say copy. So when I say copy, whatever I do to object C will not. Can create cylinder, and you drag it up to give it a height. You can also come and change the parameters of all these your objects. For example, this one, click on it, modify. You can change the radius, the segment, that is how fine you want it to be. I change the segment, the more smoother it will become. The same thing with our cylinder. You can change the height. Maybe let's change it to 10. That is it. Now if you want to rotate, I told you rotate, and on the axis you won't tend to rotate it on. I tend to rotate it on the x-axis, so that is why you can see my x is in yellow. You want to rotate it to my z-axis, that's the blue line. You can see it has rotated. Now the next one is scale. Now if you want to scale an object, you can scale it this way or this way, depending on the view you are. Let's go to our front view. Now you can rotate it, you can scale it on the y-axis or on the x-axis. Now if I rotate it on the x-axis, you can see it's elongating this side. If I rotate it, scale it on the x-axis, you can see it's extending on the x-axis. Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z. But if I want to scale it uniformly, I'll come to this center and scale it so it is proportional. So anytime you want to scale proportional, you click on this middle yellow box that is highlighted and you extend it. For example, let's do this one. You can see this yellow box, this yellow triangle, and you extend it. If I did it on the x-axis, you can see it's extended, it's not correct. So Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z. So that's how to use your scale tool. This is your scale tool to rescale whatever you want in your scene. You can see. So try practicing these gizmo tools. Create objects, different objects, and give them colors just as I did. Now for example, I want this teapot to align on this my cylinder. What I'll do is I'll click on this and I'll say pick point. This is my point. You can see the teapot is aligned to my slanted cylinder. So I want it to be directly on it. FZ, and I zoom. Let me rotate this like this, then do it again. So I'll pick, I'll click on pick, and I can move, can see. So it's moving along that plane. So if you have something like this kind of scenario, you can also use it to practice. You can use it for your sim. So let me delete this. This is now we talked about aligning your object to the plane. You can see this one is beyond our plane, but for us to make it to sit on this our plane, we come to this our align to. Before you click on align to, you click on the object you want to align. You want to align this teapot to this one. So I've clicked on it. I'll come to this my align to and choose where I want it to align to. You can see a plus button showing, that means it has highlighted. So I'll click on it. Then it will give me this align selection tool. Where do I want to align it to? Of course, I want to align it to the Z axis. So I'll click on Z. Now the current object, we are the minimum. You can see my arrow. This is the minimum of it, and we want to align it to the minimum or the maximum of a plane. The plane is always 0, so we want to align it to the minimum or the maximum of this plane. So for my current object, I'll choose the minimum, which is this, to the maximum of this. I'll click OK. Let's try it again. You click on the object, click on the object that you want to align. Let's say it's this one. Then click on align to. You want to align it to this one. Then you click on the minimum for the port. You can see this is our minimum, this is our maximum. Then click the minimum of our target object, which is the plane. This is maximum. Then we'll say OK. Do you get it? Let's try it for this one again. Align to this, the minimum to the maximum. It's most better to do it on your perspective view, or your camera shot view. Now I'm wondering where it is. This is this one, TZ. To zoom closer, it's even far away, so let's bring it closer. Anytime you don't find something, just TZ or LZ, you click on the object and click on TZSZ to bring it back into the scene. You can see that's it there. I can see it clearly now. So I'll click on this, then I'll click on my align to. Now say I want to align it to this. You can see minimum, maximum. Then now say OK. Now let's try a more complex thing. Stay in your perspective view. FZ. You can change it to full mode so that you understand it better. Now you understand how we did this one. Now when you're in shaded, you might not see your plane properly, so let's put it on wireframe so you can see they are standing directly on the, on the plane. For example, this one is not sitting properly. how will we now put it to sit properly on the pen? Can you remember? Okay, yes, you click on it. Let's use our perspective view. Yes, you click on it. What next? Yes, you go to your align tool. You align it to the plane you want it to do. When it's showing that positive something, plus sign, you click on it. Then what axis are we orienting it to? The Z axis. I click on the minimum of this to the maximum of this and you press OK. So if we go to our FZ, I'll put this in wireframe. Everything is sitting down on the line. So when you import cars or trees or objects into your scene, you can use this method to put it to make it align with the necessary reference level. Now I want to put this one on top of this box. Let's try it. We want to put this teapot on top of this box. So how we go about it? Yes, you click on the teapot, align. You can see showing that positive sign. Then align the minimum of this to the maximum. This is the minimum of the box. This is the maximum of the box. So I have the minimum to the maximum and I say OK. Now come to my FZ, zoom, then move it to the top of my box. Voila, that is it. Let's go to our TZ and make sure it's sitting on it directly. You can see it's now sitting directly on it. Let's bring this one to the front. Let's put this one by the side. Now if you want to duplicate or copy, what do I say? You put down your shift button and press and drag. It has duplicated another, or they call it clone. It has created another box. So you either click on copy or you click on instance. Instance means whatever I do to this one will affect this one. So let's click on instance. Voila. FZ. Now try rotating this one to 90 degrees. How are we going to do that? Yes, you use your rotate tool. On what axis are we? X axis. You rotate. Now you can see it's showing you the figure here, but if you are not so accurate, you can just come down here, this status bar, you can come down here and write minus 90. So it has 90 degrees like this. It's at 90 degrees. So as I say, you want to copy another one, you want to clone it, you just press down your shift key, drag and move. It has created another teapot. You can also put what they call it, text in your scene. That is shapes or text. For example, maybe I have a signage. I'll click on shape, text. Now because I've already written this one before, but if you are just doing it for the first time, create shape, text. You come to this modify tool, you see text. Now write what you want to be on the sign. Let's say lights on. Then you click where you want it to be. Now it is here. So we have created a signage for our billboard. Now to know that whether this one is sitting on this one, you go to your, let's see, LZ. You can see this is it. It doesn't have thickness. So to give it a thickness, we use our modify extrusion. Click on modify and click on extrusion. Extrusion is E. Just type E to take you to extrude. Now a figure, come under parameter, you see a figure of 200. You can change it to your desired figure, maybe 900, and you move it close. Let it go inside a bit to our box. You can also scale it. I told you about scaling. You can scale it the y-axis, you can scale it the x-axis, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, or you can scale it within this our triangle so it is uniform. Let's go to our FZ. This is it. You can see it's almost taking the space, so I want to scale it on my x-axis a bit. Now I want to copy it, drag, holding your shift down button and copy. You can see. So you can create signages to your work in model in 3D Max interface if you have forgotten to do that in your Revit. So there are other objects you can play with. This one has to do with our models. When we open the model, we can also bring in components into the scene. For example, foliage. Let's go to our TZ. You show you the trees, already loaded trees in 3D Max. There are other types of plugins you can use. You can use carbon scatter to create trees. If you have an estate or a large expanse of landscaping to do, you can use carbon scatter to do that. But they have some here, so let's make use of some of their what they call it. What you do is click and drag. Click. It's there. Let's go to wireframe. Is it? You can now scale it. Why it's small is because my models are very big. But it's for the sake of this class I made it big so that you understand what we are doing. So this is our tree. If I go to my FZ, you see that your tree is too big. You can scale it down at the center. TZ, and you move it to your desired position. You want to position it there. Now if you want to create similar, you want to highlight similar objects, what you do is you click on that object, right click and say select similar. It has selected all the trees in this scene. If you notice, this is selected, this one is selected. Then you now say maybe you want to hide. You say hide selection. If you want to bring it back, you right click, you say unhide all. Click on it, select similar, hide selection, or right click again, unhide selection. Then you can also freeze. Maybe you don't want to hide it, but you want to freeze it so that you don't move it unnecessarily. You say freeze selection. So you can see I cannot move it on the scene. It's freezed. It's freeze there. So that's how to use. So let's unfreeze it. Say unfreeze all. Let's select similar and delete. Let's click on this one, FZ, right click, select similar. You can see that selected is brother here. You now hide selection. Click, select similar, hide selection. Then you can now say unhide all. For all, you unhide. So unhide selection. Now we want to isolate an object. Just click on it and say isolate selection, so you can work more on it. You can see all others are not there. So when I'm through with my editing of this, I'll just say end isolate. You can see it comes back to the original scene. See, we now want to make sure that it sits on our plane, so we click on this, align to this, minimum, maximum, okay. If I go to my FZ and my wireframe, you can see it's sitting down, looks like the earth is sitting down on my plane. So you can also change the display options. Let's change it to consistent, its edges and perspective. Let's change this one to red. Let's move this one closer. I'm just playing with the tool so that you understand what I'm doing. Let's reduce this one at the center. Let's move it closer. FZ. You can see it's not sitting on our plane. Go back to my camera. Click on align. XZ position, minimum, maximum. It's sitting down on it. So you do something like this. Give it different colors. Try playing with the different models here. It's under standard primitive, under shapes too. I'll move it to the direction you want it to. If you are gotten a shot, just say Control C. So it has created a camera shot. So do this for your assignment and send a snapshot to me tomorrow. Thank you, and see you in the next class. For those who have not registered, please try and register to get more of our videos, because this is the last free training class that we are going to upload. Subsequent ones will be based on those that have registered. We have to first show you what we are giving to you, so that you know that it's a value for your money. Apart from the training, you send your assignments, and we'll look at it and get back to try and register. Our account details is written in the WhatsApp page. Signify what you intend to learn, whether it's 3D Max, whether it's Revit, whether it's Lumion, whether it's interior rendering, whether it's AutoCAD. Let us know what you intend learning, and we assure you that at the end of the tutorial you understand and gain a lot of knowledge on the software you intend to learn. This is our last class for this week. Classes resume on Monday. If you are not registered, please try and register this before the next class on Monday. Please send your assignments to the WhatsApp page so you can